Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and we are finally here. Total War Warhammer 3 has finally been announced. I'm sure many of you have already seen the trailer. However, if you've not, don't you worry, it's playing on screen right now and we'll have a full unedited version of the trailer playing at the end of the video. Now, there's a lot to talk about because there's just so much news. The trailer shows us the Tsarina, who has been leading her forces against the forces of Chaos, and even gives us a glimpse of Chaos demons of all 4 ruinous powers. Soon after, the Tsarina and her forces charge out to meet the forces of Chaos. And this is something that we need to talk about, mainly because there's something interesting here. The Kislevites are not only fighting demons of chaos, but they're also fighting mortal worshippers, as we can see warriors of chaos mounted atop of skull crushers. Why is that? Well, that's because Total War Warhammer 3 is going to contain a wider selection of individual races than any previous Total War Warhammer title. It would seem that we are getting monogod factions to differentiate all the different ruinous powers. So I am happy to confirm to you that there will be 6 different races. The forces of Nurgle, the forces of Slaanesh, the forces of Tzeentch, the forces of Khorne, Kislev, as can be expected through all these years of speculation, and perhaps the grandest of all, the vast empire of Grand CATHAY. Yes, you've heard me correctly. We are going to see the inclusion of not only Kislev, which was a 6th edition supplement race, but also CATHAY, which never really had an army book, yet was always so popularized with the fans. We don't know who is leading all these respective factions just yet, although speculation has already begun, but Creative Assembly have stated that they can't wait to start introducing us to the 9 new playable legendary lords. Speculation on my part says that we'll see 5 demons, 2 Kislevites, and 2 Cathayans. 4 main Chaos demons, each worshipping and bound to one of the Chaos gods, and 1 possibly undivided demon, which many have been requesting to see his appearance for a long time now. But that is a topic for another video. Let's not get distracted by the officially released information. Now, back to CATHAY and Kislev. The community as a whole more or less guessed that we would see Kislev eventually. This is because Games Workshop announced Warhammer the Old World, and Kislev was announced to be undertaking a bit of a change lore-wise, including new units and so on, those of which we can actually see in the trailer. Grand CATHAY, however, was a surprise even to myself. You see, wildly requested as it was, the nation of CATHAY really didn't have that much lore, but it is confirmed here that Games Workshop and Creative Assembly teamed up to flesh it out. This proves that both Creative Assembly and Games Workshop have been listening to the wants of the fans. Believe me, I was expecting CATHAY eventually, but not so soon. This is actually quite interesting news. What's extremely curious of all this is where the first map is going to be based upon. You see, we're obviously going to get 2 maps. The first, a story-based one, very similar to that of the Eye of the Vortex. With the second map, that of the Mega Mortal Empires, dropping sometime in the future post-launch. Let's read the short description. The cataclysmic conclusion to the Total War Warhammer trilogy is coming. Rally your forces and step into the realms of chaos, a dimension of mind-bending horror where the very fate of the world will be decided. Will you conquer your demons or command them? So it seems that the first map for Total War Warhammer 3 is going to be something that not many people expected. It seems that Creative Assembly have confirmed that the main campaign is going to be centered inside the realms of chaos themselves. This is a plane of existence which really never got that explored too much, so us being able to lead our armies through it is going to provide for some interesting encounters, I'm imagining. For those not aware, there is a direct route to the realms of chaos which borders Kislev and Grand CATHAY. The Chaos Wastes to the north actually link up to the realms of chaos themselves, As you travel further and further, you'll start to notice reality bending and twisting and changing. Eventually, you will find yourself in the realms of chaos, the ever-changing domain of the Chaos Gods. I am extremely curious to see how Creative Assembly will interpret this. Now, of course, there seems to be a plot point already revealed. The world stands on a precipice. A single push will plunge it into cataclysm. And there is one who seems to achieve just that. An ancient figure who desires nothing less than to wield supreme power. But to succeed, he will need a champion. It seems that Total War Warhammer 3 will have an antagonist, and this is very strange, because it's pointing to an ancient figure. You'd think that this would be focused around the 4 Chaos Gods. However, they state it's one character. If we're looking at it through an end times perspective, all 4 Chaos Gods needed to unite for that. This is one specific figure who is not revealed just yet. I wonder who it could be, but let's not dwell too much on that until a later date. Now let's look towards the Mega Mortal Empires. It currently doesn't have a name. Of course, we're expecting it to drop a few months down the line. We're still not sure exactly when, but it is confirmed that we will need Game 1, Game 2, and Game 3. Given the fact that CATHAY has now been included in the roster, it can be expected that we might have as close to a full world as possible, or even a complete full world. Again, no other news on that just yet, but they do confirm that it is a free, huge DLC, so honestly I can't wait to see the scope and scale of the Warhammer Fantasy world being represented in Total War Warhammer. Other than that, we have been told that there is another DLC coming later down this year for Total War Warhammer 2, and we're still to expect some sort of content. This is indeed kinda bittersweet to hear, personally speaking. Of course, that means that we get a bit more content for Total War Warhammer 2, but since the release date for Warhammer 3 hasn't been announced just yet, I'm assuming we're gonna have to wait a small while. Now, it is important to note that they have mentioned that there is a pre-adopter. This, of course, is a pre-order incentive for Total War Warhammer 3, and they've stated that they're currently planning to have a race pack as the early adopter bonus. I'm not 100% sure, but it sounds that the next coming DLC will not be the early adopter. I could be wrong, however, but it does sound like they're talking about 2 different packs, which makes me think that we're due a Lord pack, possibly with a Warriors of Chaos rework, considering that what we've seen on the trailer, there are some Skull Crushers of Khorne, and those are obviously tied to the Warriors of Chaos. And then we'll see the race pack. It could be the Dogs of War, or maybe the Ogres or Darwizar. I'm still not 100% too sure about this. We don't have a release date just yet, but we do have a lot to talk about in the possible weeks to come. I am beyond excited to see what Creative Assembly have planned for the final installment of this trilogy. It's been a good few years, and hopefully they will continue to milk it for years to come. What did you think about the excitement? It looks like there's still many races and characters to come. It looks like we're hitting the beginning of the end for Total War Warhammer at a very strong point. And honestly, I can't wait. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and let's start a bit of a discussion.
Peggy 16.
Death is like the winter chill. No door can keep it from us. And summer yet may bloom again, though ice be all upon us.
My child, there is so much to tell you that I have run out of time. The sacrifice I made was not enough. The dark gods still feed on our transgressions. Corruption. Obsession. Deceit. Rage. You must face these demons.
But with that, my friends, we've come to the end of our video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, might I suggest giving the video a like, or even subscribing to the channel, as it really does help us out. In the description section below are various links to different social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and Discord. Also in the description section is an affiliate link with Element Games where you could buy loads of hobby-based products, not just Warhammer, for 10 to 25% off. Making a purchase using that link and also our special code, which is also in the description, supports the channel at no extra cost to you, which we think is rather cool. A big thank you to our patrons. Your support means the world to us. It's amazing that people want to help a small channel like us grow and get to a higher level of content. A big thank you to Gibraltar LUSC, Ryan Bertsche, Andrew Prince, and Okro for subscribing to us at our Fane level. You guys are super cool. And a big thank you to Edward Yule, VS Vasan, Aaron Whitman, and Shaggy for subscribing to us at our King level. Honestly, we can't thank you all enough. And lastly, a big thank you to all of you for liking, sharing, and commenting on these videos. Honestly, it's because of you guys that the channel's been growing at such a great pace lately, so we can't thank you all enough. But with that, my friends, thank you so much for watching once again, and we shall see you all again very, very soon. Have a good day.